There you going, guys. Bit of an update again for you, and I'm going to try a new product today, and I'll show that shortly. But last time I'd basically finished blocking this back, but not quite. I'd sort of stopped. I hadn't done this bottom of this piece, and I hadn't sort of sanded fully back through here. So it's come up pretty good, and there's just some minor little marks in places. It's just this little ones, and hopefully that'll all come out with the next, with the next coat. But there's a few little spots where I just not really enough filler in it, and it's like, and when I mean like, it's just minimal, just very slight, like little spots in here, like there's some wee nicks in here where I've just haven't quite had enough in places and bits and pieces like that. So instead of trying to smear a bit of actual proper filler in there, and just little bits like that, and there's a bit of a mark there where it's a bit of a gouge where paint's never going to fill that up unless you poured about friggin' 10 coats on there. But and there's it's not bad, but there's just the odd little mark, and there's a couple little pinholes in that bit of filler where I've sanded back down through to, and just little things like that. And one of the doors I painted out of the week, I just brought it out because I knew there was a few pinholes in it, and lots of see that in there, and a few in here, and just in the filler, and there's a few marks in here, and just even that's just not really quite the right shape. Now I've had another look at it, so I'm going to smear a little bit of stuff in there as well. And the same on the back of this door, which I haven't actually painted yet, but there's just a little bit of filler that I put in the back edge of this where I did that repair. There's a few pinholes in that. I'm just having a look along here. It's not bad along here. Paint will get the rest of that, I think. Sorry about the wind, if you can hear that. It's quite windy here today. And there's a few chips and bits and pieces in here, but I think really the paint probably will get rid of the worst of that. But I just want to smear a little bit of putty or something across here and some of these pinholes. I've got some other doors and bits and pieces I want to do too, but I just want to do a little test for a start off with this new product I've got. Alright, so I'll show you what that is, because I've never used it before. I've just always used years ago when I did my last sort of like full resprays and stuff. I just used a tube of that sort of red sort of spot putty type stuff. But I was talking to a mate of mine, and he said, try this U-Pole Dolphin Glaze. Now it's a 2-pot sort of mix. I'd never heard of it before. I think the Gunman was using something similar to this on those videos I've been looking at recently. Just brushing up on a few tips and bits and pieces, and and doing a wee bit of research for that new spray gun that I want to get, which I haven't ordered yet, mainly just because I haven't had just quite enough cash sort of sitting around, especially just getting before Christmas. But I'll hopefully order it shortly. So I'm going to try this. So I'm going to mix up a little piece and smear it in some of these pinholes and just see how things go. So I'll stop the camera here, and I'll mix her up and smear a little bit of this, but then we'll just have a look and see what it looks like. Cheers. Right, I'm back again. Right, I've mixed it up and used it. Now it's going to take a wee bit of getting used to. It's pretty runny stuff for a start off. It's almost like a real super light runny, well, basically it is a super light runny filler. I thought it might have been a wee bit thicker, if you know what I mean, like a wee bit more thicker consistency. But it's almost like a real runny bog, or filler. So it's going to take a wee bit of getting used to, but I think it's going to work all right. But it's just some of those, I might have to find something a little bit stiffer to put it on with. It's sort of a wee bit awkward to put on, if you know what I mean. Like some of that spot putty stuff, it's quite thick, and you can sort of smear it in the holes. So that's sort of what I was used to, and that's sort of what I was sort of thinking it was going to be like. But it's the real runny stuff. So, but anyway, we'll see what it turns out like. I've got a little bit on this, a little bit down that back of that, because I sort of want to get it on some of these before I sort of get too many more, or before you need to sort of put a few more coats of primer on, you know, for the second sort of block back. I just gave this a light rub just to take the shine off it, so this would sort of stick. Because this has only been paint, well, this has only had those sort of a few coats of primer on it for sort of a week or so. So I didn't want to block it back hard or anything like that. I just wanted to scuff it up so I could fill some of those pinholes. So yeah, I'm sort of open to judgment yet, should I say. Like, you know, I'd like to use it a couple more times and just get a bit more of a feel for it. Yeah, because it wasn't really what I was expecting for a start off. But yeah, I think it's going to work alright. Definitely going to work alright. Look, it's only been on there, I don't know, only a few minutes, and it's you know, like it's quite sort of, it's gone off, and it's, you know, so it's, you know, it's quite sticky still, but it's, you know, like it's not soft and runny anymore. Like it's hardening up quite quick. So it'll be interesting to see what it sands up like and all that sort of stuff. So so we'll let it harden up, and for a while. I think it says about 20 odd minutes on the back of the packet. That might depend on temperature, obviously. It's not real warm here today, but it's quite humid, so it might go reasonably quick. So we'll leave it at that for a wee while, and we'll get back to you when I've done a wee bit of sanding. Cheers.